Hello, Biz Buds. Happy Monday. Today we are going to be talking about content pillars. While we're waiting for folks to come on into the chat, I'm just going to do some quick reminders. So, if you don't know, we do a Makers Monday live every Monday at 10. Good morning, Renee. We do a Makers Monday live at 10, but because I have an impending baby coming out, this is actually going to be the last live one until after baby's born, and so I'm going to be doing some pre-recorded Makers Mondays. So instead of live, they'll be just on my IGTV, and I'll have links, and you won't miss a thing, especially if you joined my BizBuds newsletter, so be sure to DM me. Or let me know in the chat comments if you want to be added, and I will add you. And I apologize in advance for being so breathless when talking. Baby's like pushing up in my lungs, and I'm running out of air. So, and I'm just really excited to talk to you. So, anyway, so today we're talking about content pillars, and so if you don't know, content pillars are basically like well, think of a pillar holding up a building. These are like, maybe you have like 3 to 5 pillars holding up your building that is your business. And these are ways to kind of structure how and what you're sharing in your social media or email content. So not only does this help your audience know what you're all about and what your big takeaways you want them to know, but it also helps you in focusing on what kind of content you are creating, because let's be frank, like it can be really overwhelming trying to post on Instagram and sending emails, and if you're doing YouTube or whatever, like it's a lot. So if you can if you're new to your business or if you're old to your business and you haven't thought about content pillars, this could be a really great way to think about streamlining your content. So, content pillars are the things that you're sharing about, and it should be aligned with your brand. Obviously, like if your brand is all about like, I don't know, elegant stationery for weddings, you're probably not going to be like sharing about how you're really into Natty Light or something like that. You're going to want to, so it doesn't necessarily have to be like not true to you, but just make sure that what you are sharing is part of your brand and your business. And ideally your brand and your business would like line up with who you are and what you're all about, right? So let's see. Yeah. So it should be authentic to you. It can be a mixture of business and personal. This is a great way to kind of pick and choose what parts of your personal life that you're sharing with the people. Because some people are totally comfortable like sharing everything. Some people are like don't want to share anything. But this kind of helps you find a middle ground. Like for example, I started out not posting anything about my daughter and no like face pictures and everything, but as it became more and more clear to me that a big part of our business is that like this is a family business. This is like we're doing this because we want to spend time with her. So it made sense for us to take the time to share a little bit about her too, but I also don't want to share her birthday or her name just for privacy reasons. So thinking about the things, or like, I don't know, do I need to talk about how we, I don't know, really like to eat cookie dough, like make cookie dough and freeze it and then bake it in the oven. Like, no, I mean, I don't know, this is something I like, it's a great hack, but like, it doesn't need to be a part of my brand, right? You don't need to hear about how much my Great Dane poops. Like, there are things that just don't make sense for me to share. Yeah. So anyway, so I'm just looking at my notes here. Yeah. And if your business is more like professional facing, that's totally fine, but it does help to add in some personal, because people are not only falling in love with your business, hopefully, they're also like big part of it can be, your personality can be a big asset to your brand. So obviously a big part of my content sharing is like our products, right? Like, duh, like that's a big part of it, right? Like, so my products and what we're like new product ideas, the designs. So that is something that I share, but I try to share it in ways that align with my content pillars. So it's not like I am just this watercolor paper machine. Like you get to hear a little bit about why I'm choosing my designs. And you hear about our slogan, like bursting with delight and charm. So I try to infuse that into the content. So I'm going to share some of my content pillars and examples. And anybody who's in the chat, feel free to share what you think some of your pillars might be. If you have them already, great. I'd love to hear them. And if you're kind of bouncing around some ideas, we could kind of share about that too. So one of my big ones is teaching and sharing. So as I've shared before on here, I'm a former teacher. It is a really big part of who I am. I spent a lot of money going to grad school for it, so I may as well share about it and use those skills to help in this branch of my career. So that ways that I share that part of me is through BizBuds. I want to help new businesses learn from my mistakes, and I want to share as much as I can. So things like this Instagram Live, my BizBuds newsletter, things like that. I also really value like community, and so I feel like that sharing and teaching is kind of aligned. So they kind of fall under the same pillar. So I'm trying to foster a community here where we can share ideas, and I really try to communicate that like we're all about shine theory here. Like we don't put people down. We lift everyone up. There's room for everyone to have their space. And I don't ever want to take away from what somebody else is doing because I would be jealous or whatever. So, it's about sharing information. That's really important to me. And I try to post that not only in the words that I'm saying when I do my lives, but also in my copy that I'm writing, in my Instagram posts. I share a lot of my fellow business owners and try to tag people, and it's all about lifting people up. So that's a really big part of it. Another big part of that teaching strategy is like figuring it out as I go. That is something that I always felt like it's okay not to know the answer. This was a really big part of my teaching philosophy when I was teaching middle school too. Like, it's okay not to know the answer. What's important is that you know that there are tools out there to find the answer, and I want to help connect you with those tools that help you find the answer. So, and I want to make sure that I'm modeling that in my content. Let's see, behind the scenes and process videos. Those behind the scenes process videos are like another way of showing that of teaching and sharing and community. So that's one content pillar. So already we've covered Instagram Lives. We've covered some of like what I share in my reels. We've covered what I share in my posts. We've covered some emails. Like already this one content pillar has a lot of spread to what is a really big part of who I am and what I want my business to convey. The next piece, this one sounds like it might be more personal, but it also is associated with business. So one really big important thing to me is body positivity and acknowledging that mental health is important. So as I'm sharing these business tips, I don't want to come off as like, I work hard, but I also don't want to come off as like, hustle, hustle, hustle till you die. Like, that's not what I'm all about. I want to show that you can work hard and be a productive business person, but also like enjoy the little moments of life. And so when I'm sharing in my posts, like I try to share about that balance and breaking up with your to-do list and how to find ways to make time for the little things while also still running a business. But this also conveys into some of my artwork, like the body positivity stuff. I want to make sure that I'm depicting, all bodies and types and sizes and things like that. I want to be encouraging and uplifting and I also share about my body insecurities and things like that, because a lot of people are really nervous to share on Instagram and share like their face or whatever. And yeah, it can be scary, but I also want to be an example of what it looks like to be scared, but kind of put yourself out there. So body positivity and mental health are something that I'm always going to be trying to talk about and find ways to share. I've shared, oh, hey, Dyla. I've shared about how I had postpartum depression, and a big part of that postpartum depression was like me starting this business. So it all kind of interweaves together. So, okay, another part of my content pillars is this is a family business. So as I was talking about a little bit early before, like I will share about like momming and balancing, and it's certainly not perfect. My floors are perpetually covered with peanut butter or drool. Who's drool? Unclear. But that's part of this. That's part of this journey. So I think that's important to share. I will share. I like having a lot of content, products that speak to new moms. Like I've got some cards that are about pumping and hanging in there, and I've got stuff for like new babies and first birthdays, and we're working on doing more of that because it's where I am and what I'm all about. So and then another content pillar for me is making things easy and working smarter and not harder. So this is more like product based. So a big part of what I talk about when I'm posting about my products is this is to make it easy for you. I want the people buying my stuff to be like, okay, I've got my wrapping paper, I've got my gift cards, I've got my perfect card for my perfect people. I got the bundle of birthday cards, so I'm never going to forget somebody's birthday. Like I want to make it as easy for the people buying to celebrate the people that they love. And so as I'm thinking of products and as I'm sharing them, I'm trying to say, here's how I can make it easier for you. And the same translates to this business, but the biz buds part is like, I'll make this easy for you too. Like there's no reason why, I did a ton of research about which platform I wanted to be selling on and why I'm making those decisions. And why wouldn't I share that with you? So you don't have to do that, right? My goodness. Everybody should do their own research, but if I can provide a condensed version for you, I'm more than happy to do that because I want to make things easy for other folks. I share a lot of my productivity hacks and things like that. So anyway, and then lastly, bursting with delight and charm. This is our slogan. This is what Key Talking Artistry is all about. So you see that in our Instagram posts, you see that in the emails, and hopefully you see this in my personality. This is what I really want to be sharing because this is what makes me tick. I want to convey that this is fun and it should be silly and whimsical. And so honestly, I was kind of nervous to share, my weird side, I guess, with these lives and my stories. And then I was as I got more comfortable, I noticed this poking out a little bit more. I would start singing my words. This is something I do in my daily life. My poor husband, how he lives with me, I don't even know. But I will sing a lot of things. I'll be like, let's find the peanut butter, whatever. This is part of who I am. And I like to be really positive and filled with just giggles and make things silly. And this has been a really fun side to share with you. A lot of you have been oh yeah, keep singing about your progress. I'm okay, well, good, because I don't know how else to communicate words. So this has been kind of fun to see that not only is it me feeling more authentic about myself, but it's also y'all are connecting with it. And if you don't, I guess unfollow me. I don't know, because that's who I am and what I'm about. And that's kind of cool because it was something I was really nervous about, showing myself as really professional. And it's just, I am professional. I get my work done, but that's not, if you know me or if you've worked with me, I definitely don't have that buttoned up vibe. I can pull it out when I need to, but it's not who I am. And so that's been really cool to see that who I am and what I'm about is connecting with people. So I highly encourage those of you who are maybe nervous to post or like be true to you, like try it, see what happens. And I think the more you do it, the more comfortable you get. So as you're thinking about your content pillars, think about the things that are like important to your brand. Maybe just write a list of like top 10 things that are important to you. Like another big one for us is being eco-friendly and making sure that our products are fully compostable. And I do share about that and I want to make that a bigger part of my content pillars, but right now it's just, I haven't found a way to work it in that feels like deeper than like saying, whatever. Like I don't know. That's something that I want to work on, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. And, because it is important and I would like to add more of that into my life, into our business, into the world. So that kind of thing. So think about the things that are really important to you. Are you really focused on making sure that your brand is inclusive, like including, various types of relationships and skin tones and things like that into your artwork or your products or whatever. Like if you make vases of bodies, like are you making them different sizes, different colors, things like that. Yeah. So think about those kind of things. I keep trying to make my dog. So let's talk about like a failed content pillar. Keep trying to make my dogs something. And people just like aren't into it. And you know what? That's fine. Like, I was like, I don't know, Great Dane. People seem to like Great Danes and like Lily's cute or whatever, but like people don't care. Like people are not on my page to see the dogs, and that's fine. They are a part of my family. They are a part of my life. They drive me nuts. I love them. But you know what? That's okay. It's not connecting, and that's fine. And I don't really need to post about them. It's not like a big deal. So kind of listening when you decide one of your pillars, like if it's not connecting with your audience, maybe like rethink it a little bit. And if it's still really important to you, like, keep trying to put that out there. But this was like a give or take. And I was like, oh, that's fine. I don't need to keep taking more pictures of my dogs. There are so many. So, yeah. Does anybody have any questions? I think we only have one straggler here. I know that it's a holiday today. So we've got a little bit of a smaller audience than usual. But if you do have any questions about this, feel free to DM me or email me. As I mentioned before, oh, hey, Kelly. As I mentioned before, all of these BizBud chats are on TV. And I put them on my YouTube channel, and there's a blog post that you can go to, and sometimes I connect some little handouts there. And so you can always find them there. If you want a weekly digest, join my BizBuds newsletter. You can just DM me and I will add you to the list. It's super easy. Quick reminder that for the next 3 months, they are not going to be live. I will still try to post them vaguely around 10 to my IGTV. Because we're having a baby. So I promise there will still be content for you. It is just gonna not be live and in the moment. So, which pillar did I start with? Like when I was talking today, Renee, or which one did I implement first? I'll wait to answer her question before I hop off. But yeah, so you can always find me there. And yeah, if you ever have any questions, you can always email me, hello@katetalkandartistry.com. I will be answering emails more sporadically in the upcoming months. When I started my business. Okay, so Renee is asking, which pillar did I start with when I started my business? So I would say the one that kind of came out of the woodworks first was the teaching and sharing, just because that's what comes most naturally to me. As a former teacher, you might also relate to that. But I tried to I was just posting whatever. And then I took a mastermind with Kitty Meow Boutique. And she suggested thinking of them all at once, like a homework assignment. And so, so I thought of them and then since then I've been trying to I just I don't have a Post-it note, but like I should, that just reminds me as I'm scheduling my posts and sharing my information. Like at this point now, it feels kind of like it falls into those categories anyway. But as you're first starting to align to your categories, it can help to have just a little note reminder and be like, oh yeah, this falls into that category. This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm all about. So, but that is a really interesting thought about like kind of picking one and then adding in. And I think I could totally see that working, Renee. If you wanted to kind of pick one and then build from there, if that seems a little less like, I have to pick like 1,000 things. Like, don't do more than 5. If you want to start with 1 or 2, I think that's a really great way to kind of ease into the content posting. So, good idea. Yeah. Anyway, I'll still be like around. We're not due for a couple till the end of the month. So, but, I'm just going to record them just in case, cause you never know what's happening. And, yeah, so next week will be about I'm going to check. I think it's podcasts. Yes, so I'm going to do a podcast roundup of all my favorite biz podcasts. So it'll be a short and sweet one. And hopefully find some good information. All right. Bye, everybody. Have a good day.